Hello, welcome back to How to RV. I am Jason, and I want to talk about some exciting news that's coming to this channel for some of you out there. And that happens to be that we're going to be installing lithium batteries, an inverter, and solar in order to be able to camp off-grid. Recently, I have partnered with Enduro Power. They are a supplier of batteries, and if you want to look up more information about them, it'll be down in the description below. But they supplied us with the batteries in order to make all this project possible. Along with the batteries that Enduro Power supplied us, we're going to also be putting in an inverter. We're also going to be putting in solar and some other things in order to be able to camp off-grid. But today, I wanted to talk about all the things that we have that we want to get installed and where we want to put them. Now, I have a 26-foot travel trailer, and like a lot of you out there, you don't have a lot of storage or a lot of space to put stuff. So in order to figure out where we're going to put all this stuff, this is where I want you to be involved. For me, it's important to make sure that I know where I'm going to put it. That way I don't take away any more storage than I have to. Now, in future videos, we'll talk about the install of some of the different parts as we go and what the different parts do and what kind of capabilities it looks like. We'll run all kinds of test videos and stuff like that. And we may even do a boondocking test to show you how all this stuff actually turned out. But before we do that, first things first. Now, before I go into talking about some of the locations inside of my RV that I'm thinking about where I want to put it, and to get some of your thoughts on where we should put all of this, I want to talk about the different things that we have that we want to install. The first thing is going to be the battery. That's the most important part. We have a battery on our RV already. We're going to take that out and put in this lithium battery by Enduro Power. The other thing that we want to get installed is a charger. The charger that's inside of my RV will not charge a lithium battery. It will only charge the lead acid battery that came with the camper. So I got to get something installed in order to get the charging right so that the lithium battery will charge properly. The next step is to get the inverter installed. What that'll do is convert the 12 volt over to house power like you have in your home, or you run your outlet so that you can run your coffee maker. And in addition to your coffee maker, if there's other things that you like to run, you might be able to run them as well. Now, this design is going to be a little bit different than other videos that you may have seen, because we're going to actually create this in a way that I'll be able to take it out and put it into another RV if I so wish to sell this one. And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is put a box on the outside of my RV that will look similar to the one that you would connect to at the campground. That way, if I'm off grid and I want to use the outlets inside of my RV, then all I got to do is plug my RV into my RV. I know that may sound weird, but it all makes sense in time. And what I mean by that is I'm going to put a box like this with a plug like this inside of it. I'm going to mount it to the RV so that I can plug the RV into the RV. So what my plans are is to have the inverter wired into one of these so that I can take the cable, and instead of plugging it in like you would at the shore power at a campground, I'll actually plug it into this plug running off the inverter, which will be running off the solar and keeping the battery charged so that I can run appliances and things like that inside of the RV. Like I said before, we're going to do some videos talking about different parts of the install, and I didn't want to go into all that detail just today. But instead of that, I wanted to get your thoughts on where we're going to put all this stuff. So with that being said, I want to keep all the stuff installed between the tongue of the camper and the wheels of the camper. So in between those two. The reason for that is it keeps the center of gravity more forward of the RV, and I don't have to worry about sway or the camper moving side to side as I go down the road, because all the weight's in the back end or the rear of the camper causing us an issue. So with that being said, I really only have 3 different locations that I can put the battery, the inverter, and all the cables and everything that goes with it. One of the locations would be under the bed. I would have to find a place that I can put a panel and mount everything and be able to mount it under the bed. But as you can see here, I don't have a lot of under bed space, but I think I might be able to make that possible. You let me know what you think. Another place that I have a location for is in the back end of the storage compartment over there by where the water heater is. You can see that there's a little cubby hole. I know it's kind of hard to see in the video here, but there's a little hole or a little cubby back there that I might be able to put either the battery or the inverter. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see if there's enough space there, but the back side of that compartment is an option. And the third option is really just for the Enduro Power battery only, and that is on the outside of the RV where the current battery is, and I can have a place there where I can put the battery. Now, I know know, it's going to be out in the weather and all that stuff, and I can't put all the inverters and all that stuff out there, but I could put the battery out there. But there is a little caveat to that. And the reason for that is because the temperature that the battery will turn itself off is 32 degrees F. Means it can get really cold outside, but if it gets below 32 F, then the battery management system inside of the battery is going to turn itself off to protect the lithium battery. And I don't know where you live and if you actually camp during the winter, but I do, and it does dip below 32 degrees here, so I don't really want the battery outside. I think it's better to have it on the inside of the RV where the temperatures are better monitored. So going back to using either under the bed or the storage compartment, I plan on building a panel or a section of the area where I can put the battery and the inverter and all the cables at the same time. So I either need to put it on a wall, or I need to build a partition down the middle or the side where everything's going to stay. But I would like to try to keep the battery and the inverter as close as possible, because it's important on what size cables and all that stuff that you have to use in order to connect the two together. So if you've done a lithium battery install and you've done some solar in the past, then let me know down in the comments below on what kind of different systems that you've put into yours and where you put them, especially if you have storage issues like I do. Also, please leave down in the comments below what you think I should do. Should I build a panel all the way across the back side of the underneath the bed and put everything there, or underneath the bed build a channel right down the middle of where everything is under the bed, and that way the wife has one side and I have the other, and put the battery and inverter in there, or in the storage compartment or something like that. I don't know. You tell me what you think you would do if you were in my situation. Like I said, I not only want this build to be for me, but I want you to have some input on how I get this designed and built. And we're going to be doing this over the next few weeks, so please feedback as soon as you can. Now, if you happen to be watching this video and it's been out for a while, then most likely none of that is relevant, but I would still like to hear what kind of things you might have done inside of your rig and how you designed it down in the comments below. Again, I want to thank Enduro Power for supplying the batteries and helping us figure out all the things that we may need to get this install done, and for all you out there that's getting ready to help me as well. So until the next time, enjoy your camping trips. Thank you for your support, and God bless.